Admiral James Cooper stood at the wide window of the United Earth Defense Force headquarters, his eyes fixed on the peaceful blue planet below. The space station's orbit gave him the perfect view of Earth, a sight that never failed to remind him of humanity's remarkable journey to the stars. The morning had started like any other, but that was about to change. "Admiral, we're picking up an unusual signal." Lieutenant Anna Baker's voice came through the intercom, breaking the morning's quiet routine. "It's unlike anything we've seen before." Cooper turned away from the window, his expression remaining calm despite the urgency in Baker's voice. "Show me," he said simply, making his way to the command center. The command center was a marvel of human engineering, with holographic displays showing everything from Earth's orbital traffic to the Mars colony's status. But today, all eyes were on the main screen, where a strange pattern of waves danced across the display. "It's coming from far beyond our solar system," Baker explained, her fingers moving quickly across the control panel. "The signal pattern is too organized to be natural. Someone sent this deliberately." Cooper leaned forward, studying the pattern. 20 years in the Defense Force had taught him one thing: humanity was ready for this moment. They had prepared for it since they first looked up at the stars. The signal suddenly changed, transforming into clear text across their screens. The universal translation matrix they had developed years ago began its work, converting the alien language into English. "To the inhabitants of Sol 3, designation, Earth, the stellar dominion acknowledges your civilization's advancement to basic space travel. As per Dominion Protocol 7249, your world has been marked for integration into our empire. Resistance is inadvisable. Submit within one planetary rotation of your world, or face the consequences of defiance." The command center fell silent. This was humanity's first contact with alien life, and it came in the form of an empire's demand for submission. Cooper straightened his uniform, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Well," he said, "they certainly know how to make an entrance." His calm demeanor helped ease the tension in the room. "Sir," Baker looked at him questioningly, "should we alert the World Council?" "Yes, but first, let's gather some information." Cooper moved to his command station, his movements unhurried. "Run a full analysis of the signal. I want to know everything about how they're transmitting it. And get me the quantum communication logs from the past 6 months." The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. The World Council convened an emergency session. Military forces worldwide went on high alert, and Earth's orbital defense platforms silently powered up. But Cooper's focus was elsewhere. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a data stream on his screen. "Their transmission technology, it's advanced, but it's using principles we abandoned years ago. They're still relying on conventional space-time communications." Baker looked confused. "Why does that matter, sir?" Cooper's smile grew wider. "Because, Lieutenant, they don't know about our quantum communication network. They don't know that we've already achieved instantaneous communication across our solar system. They think we're just beginning space travel, but we're far beyond that." He stood up, addressing the entire command center. "They see our space stations and Mars colonies and think that's the extent of our capability. They don't realize those are just the visible signs of our progress. They haven't noticed our quantum technology, our advanced AI systems, or our understanding of space-time mechanics." "So what do we do, sir?" someone asked from across the room. "We prepare to give them their answer," Cooper replied, his voice firm. "But first, we'll give them a warning, one they'll never forget." He turned to Baker. "Contact the World Council. Tell them I have a proposal." As the message was sent, Cooper returned to his window, looking out at Earth once more. The stellar dominion thought they were dealing with a young, naive species ready to be conquered. They were about to learn that humanity had a few surprises in store for them. In the depths of space, massive ships were already appearing at the edge of the solar system, their designs alien and intimidating. But unlike the civilizations they had conquered before, Earth wasn't going to give them the response they expected. Humanity had spent centuries preparing for this moment, not through building weapons, but through understanding the fundamental nature of the universe itself. The game was about to begin, and Earth was holding cards the Dominion didn't even know existed. The massive Dominion ships appeared like dark mountains against the stars, their hulls gleaming with strange lights. High Commander Marcus stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching as Earth grew larger on the main display. His mission was simple: assess this primitive world's ability to resist, then begin the integration process. Preliminary scans complete, High Commander, his second-in-command reported. They have basic orbital structures and a small colony on their fourth planet. Their technology level appears to be at Category 3. Marcus nodded slowly. Category 3 civilizations were usually easy to integrate. They had just enough technology to understand their situation, but not enough to pose any real challenge. Send the standard approach signal, he ordered. Let's see how they react to our presence. But Earth's response was anything but standard. Instead of the expected panic or desperate military posturing, a single message arrived. Welcome to Sol System. Admiral James Cooper of the United Earth Defense Force requests a meeting. Coordinates for a neutral location are attached. Marcus read the message twice. The calm tone was unusual for a Category 3 civilization. Most would be either begging for mercy or making empty threats by now. Scan the suggested meeting location, he ordered. It's their space station in high Earth orbit. His officer reported. No obvious weapons, no signs of traps. But he paused, frowning at his instruments. Sir, there's something strange about their communication method. We can't trace how the message was delivered. Marcus dismissed this detail as unimportant. After all, how sophisticated could Earth's technology be? They had only reached Mars so far. Prepare my shuttle, he commanded. Let's see what these humans want to discuss. The Dominion shuttle approached the space station, which was larger and more advanced than their initial scans had suggested. As they drew closer, Marcus noticed something else unusual. The station's design was remarkably efficient, with no wasted space or unnecessary features. This wasn't the work of a civilization just learning about space travel. Admiral Cooper met them in a large conference room with a view of Earth. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes, wearing a simple blue uniform without any excessive decorations. Welcome to Earth Station 1, Cooper said with a polite smile. I trust your journey was pleasant. Marcus studied the human carefully. You seem very calm for someone whose world is about to be integrated into the Dominion. Cooper's smile didn't waver. Perhaps because we see this meeting differently than you do, High Commander. Would you like to see what we've been working on? Before Marcus could respond, the room's lights dimmed, and a holographic display appeared between them. But unlike the crude projections Marcus expected from a Category 3 civilization, this was a crystal-clear, three-dimensional map of the entire solar system. This is our home, Cooper said, gesturing at the display. Not just Earth, but the whole system. We have mining operations in the asteroid belt, research stations near Jupiter, and, he paused, looking directly at Marcus, quantum communication relays that allow us to talk to all of them instantly. Marcus felt his confidence waver slightly. Quantum communication. That was impossible. Even the Dominion was only beginning to understand quantum mechanics at that level. You're bluffing, Marcus said, but there was uncertainty in his voice. Cooper pressed a button on the table. Suddenly, new points of light appeared in the hologram. Hundreds of them, scattered throughout the solar system. Each one represented a quantum relay station, forming a network more advanced than anything in the Dominion's empire. We didn't focus on building bigger ships or stronger weapons, Cooper explained. We focused on understanding the universe itself. While you were conquering worlds, we were learning how they worked. Marcus stood in silence, realizing that his mission had just become much more complicated. This wasn't a Category 3 civilization preparing to submit to the Dominion. This was something entirely new. And they were just getting started with their demonstrations. The conference room's holographic display shifted, showing new images as Admiral Cooper began Earth's carefully planned presentation. High Commander Marcus watched with growing interest as ancient structures appeared before him. Pyramids, coliseums, and great walls that stretched across continents. "Before we discuss our place in your empire," Cooper said, his voice steady and clear, "we'd like to share some history with you. Our world has seen many empires rise and fall. Each one thought they would last forever. Each one was wrong." The hologram showed the Roman Empire at its height, vast territories marked in bright colors across 3 continents. "This empire ruled much of our world for centuries," Cooper explained. "They had the strongest army, the best roads, and laws that many still study today. But look what happened." The display changed, showing the empire breaking apart, its territories falling one by one. Marcus leaned forward, despite himself. He had never seen a civilization study its own failures so carefully. "The Romans forgot something important," Cooper continued. "They forgot that strength isn't just about having the biggest army or the most territory. It's about adaptation, about understanding when to change." The images shifted again, showing another empire, the Mongols, riding across vast plains. "This empire was different," Cooper said. "They conquered more land than any empire before them. They were unstoppable in battle. But they, too, fell apart. Want to know why?" Marcus nodded, finding himself drawn into the lesson despite his initial skepticism. They couldn't hold together what they conquered. The empire became too big, too spread out. The very thing that made them strong, their size, became their weakness. More empires appeared and disappeared in the display. The Persian Empire, the British Empire, the Ottoman Empire. Each one rose to great power, and each one eventually fell. "Do you see the pattern, High Commander?" Cooper asked. "Every empire in our history thought they were different. They all believed they would be the one to last forever. They were all wrong." Marcus stood up, his tall frame casting a shadow through the hologram. "The Dominion is not like your primitive empires. We have technology you can't imagine. We have ruled for thousands of years." Cooper smiled gently. "That's exactly what they all said." He pressed another button, and the hologram showed something new, a mathematical model. "We've studied the patterns of empire, not just the history, but the mathematics behind it. Would you like to see what we found?" Numbers and equations floated in the air, showing complex calculations that even Marcus's advanced education struggled to follow. "Every empire follows certain rules," Cooper explained. "The bigger they get, the harder they become to control. The more worlds they conquer, the more resources they need to keep their conquered territories in line. It's not just history, it's mathematics." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. These humans weren't just showing him their history. They were showing him the future. His future. The Dominion's future. "This is our warning to you," Cooper said, his voice now serious. "Not a threat, but a lesson learned from thousands of years of human history. Every empire has its breaking point. Every system has its limits. The universe itself teaches us this." The hologram faded, leaving the room in normal light again. Cooper stood up, looking directly at Marcus. "You came here expecting to find a primitive world ready for conquest. Instead, you found a civilization that has spent its entire history learning from the mistakes of others. We don't want to fight you. We don't need to. We just want you to understand what we already know." Marcus looked out the window at Earth, seeing it with new eyes. These humans weren't just another species to be conquered. They were something he had never encountered before. A civilization that understood the true nature of power and its limitations. "Your warning is noted," Marcus said slowly, "but the Dominion will still require a demonstration of your capabilities. Words and history lessons, no matter how wise, are not enough." Cooper nodded, a slight smile crossing his face. "We thought you might say that. Shall we move on to the practical demonstration?" High Commander Marcus followed Admiral Cooper to a different section of the space station. The new room was smaller but filled with screens showing various parts of the solar system. In the center stood a simple metal table with what looked like a small black cube sitting on it. "Your ships are impressive," Cooper said, picking up the cube. "Advanced AI systems, powerful weapons, shields that can stop almost anything. But they all have one thing in common. They rely on standard communication methods." Marcus crossed his arms. "Our communication systems are the most advanced in the known galaxy." "No," Cooper said quietly. "They're just the most powerful. There's a difference." He placed the cube back on the table and pressed its top. Nothing seemed to happen. Marcus waited, then smiled. "Is this your demonstration? A box that does nothing?" "Check your ships," Cooper suggested. Marcus reached for his communicator, but before he could use it, it came alive with urgent messages. His second-in-command's voice was tense. "High Commander, all ships are reporting issues." "What kind of issues?" Marcus demanded. "Our AI systems are acting strange. They're receiving some kind of signal we can't trace. Navigation is confused. Weapon systems are. Sir, they're playing Earth music." Cooper tried not to smile as the sound of classical music drifted from Marcus's communicator. "That would be Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. We thought you might enjoy some Earth culture." Marcus's face darkened. "What have you done?" "Nothing harmful," Cooper assured him. "We simply sent a quantum-encrypted message to your ship's AI systems. They're fine, just a bit distracted at the moment. The music will stop in exactly 1 minute." "Impossible," Marcus whispered. "Our firewalls are unbreakable. Our systems are isolated. Only from normal communication methods," Cooper explained. "But quantum entanglement doesn't care about firewalls. It doesn't travel through space like regular signals. It just is." True to Cooper's word, the music stopped after exactly 1 minute. Marcus's communicator showed all systems returning to normal, with no damage done. "That's impossible," Marcus repeated. "Even if you had quantum communication, you couldn't interface with our systems. The technology is too different." Cooper walked to one of the screens, bringing up a diagram. "We didn't develop quantum communication to make better weapons," he said. "We developed it to understand the universe. Along the way, we learned something interesting. All computing systems, no matter how advanced, follow the same basic rules of quantum mechanics." He turned back to Marcus. "Your ship's eyes are impressive, but they still operate on quantum principles. Principles we've spent the last 50 years studying while everyone else was building bigger ships and stronger weapons." Marcus stood in silence, processing what he had just witnessed. These humans hadn't just developed advanced technology. They had developed it in a completely different direction than any other civilization. "Why show us this?" he finally asked. "Why not keep it secret?" "Because we don't want to fight," Cooper said simply. "We want you to understand that while your empire has been conquering worlds, we've been learning how the universe really works. We could have done much more than played music through your ship's systems. We could have shut them down completely. But that's not our way." He walked to the window, looking out at the Earth below. "We're showing you this so you understand. We don't need weapons to defend ourselves. We don't need a huge fleet of ships. We just need what we already have: knowledge and understanding." Marcus looked at the small black cube on the table, then at his own mighty fleet, now seemingly less mighty than before. "The Dominion has never," he paused, choosing his words carefully, "has never encountered a civilization like yours." "We know," Cooper said. "That's why we're giving you a choice. We can be either a powerful friend or a dangerous enemy, but we won't be conquered. Not now, not ever." The room fell silent as Marcus considered his options. Everything he knew about empire building, about power, about technology, it all seemed to have shifted in the last few hours. These humans hadn't just surprised him. They had changed the rules of the game entirely. Back on his flagship, High Commander Marcus watched as his best scientists examined the data from Earth's demonstration. The large laboratory hummed with activity as dozens of experts from different fields tried to understand what they had seen. "This makes no sense," said lead scientist Robert, a name given by their translation systems. He pointed to the complex readings on his screen. "Their quantum technology works on principles we never even considered. Look at this pattern." Marcus moved closer to see what the scientist was showing him. The display showed two different approaches to quantum communication. The Dominion's method was like a massive hammer, forcing its way through space-time with raw power. Earth's method was more like a key sliding smoothly into a lock, elegant, efficient, and using barely any energy at all. "How long did it take us to develop our quantum systems?" Marcus asked, though he already knew the answer. 300 years, Robert replied. And that was with the combined knowledge of 50 conquered worlds. He paused, checking some figures on his tablet. "According to our scans, Earth developed their system in less than 50 years, just one planet, working alone." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. How is that possible? Because they thought differently. Another scientist joined in. She was studying the black cube they had been allowed to scan. "We tried to bend space-time to our will. They tried to understand it first. It's like..." She searched for the right words. "It's like we've been trying to break down a door while they found the key under the doormat." More reports kept coming in from different research teams. Earth's technology wasn't just different. It was better in ways that shouldn't have been possible for such a young civilization. Their quantum network wasn't fighting against the universe's rules. It was working with them. "There's something else," Robert said, bringing up a new set of readings. "Their Mars colony. It's not just a few small domes like we thought. They have entire underground cities, powered by fusion reactors that are..." He shook his head in disbelief. "That are more efficient than ours." Marcus walked to the viewing window, looking at the distant blue planet. Why hide their true capabilities? They could have shown us this from the start. "Because they're smart," a young analyst spoke up from her station. "They let us underestimate them. They waited until we were close enough to demonstrate their power, but did it in a way that didn't threaten us. They're not just technologically advanced. They're strategically brilliant." The room fell silent as everyone considered this. The Dominion had conquered thousands of worlds, but they had never encountered a civilization like Earth. Most species either fought back immediately or surrendered. The humans had done neither. Instead, they had shown wisdom that went beyond mere technology. "High Commander," Robert said, his voice serious, "there's one more thing you need to see." He brought up a simulation on the main screen. "We've been analyzing their approach to quantum mechanics. If our calculations are correct, they're already working on technologies that we thought were impossible." The simulation showed theoretical devices that could manipulate space-time itself, not with brute force, but with precise, careful adjustments that worked with the universe's natural laws. "Are you saying they could develop these?" Marcus asked, staring at the display. "No," Robert replied quietly. "I'm saying they probably already have. They're just not showing us everything." Marcus remembered Admiral Cooper's calm confidence, the way he had presented Earth's warning about empires. It hadn't been the desperate plea of a weak civilization. It had been the careful warning of a species that knew exactly how powerful they were. "Prepare a full report for the Dominion Council," Marcus ordered. "They need to understand what we're dealing with here. This isn't just another world to conquer. This is something entirely new." As his teams worked, Marcus couldn't help but wonder what other surprises Earth had in store. They had revealed enough to prove their point, but he was certain they were holding back far more than they had shown. High Commander Marcus sat alone in his private quarters, staring at the report he needed to send to the Dominion Council. In his 300 years of service, he had never faced a decision this difficult. The usual protocols were clear. Any civilization that refused to join the Dominion peacefully must be forced to submit. But Earth was different. His computer screen showed messages from various departments. The military command wanted to attack immediately. claiming that Earth's technological advantage would only grow stronger with time. The science division begged for more time to study Earth's quantum technologies. The political advisory board suggested offering Earth special status within the Dominion. "Computer, show me the historical database," Marcus commanded. The screen changed, displaying thousands of conquered worlds and how they had joined the Dominion. None of them matched Earth's situation. A soft beep announced an incoming call. It was Admiral Cooper. "High Commander." Cooper's face appeared on the screen. "I thought you might have questions before making your decision." Marcus leaned back in his chair. "You knew this would happen, didn't you? You knew I would have to choose between following protocol and doing something unprecedented." Cooper nodded. "We studied your empire's history. Every high commander before you has followed the same pattern. Negotiate first, then conquer if negotiations fail. But you're different. You actually listened to our warning about empires." "Because your warning made sense," Marcus admitted. "I've seen it myself. The further we expand, the harder it becomes to control everything. But the Council won't accept that. They'll want me to follow protocol." "Then maybe it's time for the protocol to change," Cooper suggested. "You've seen what we can do with quantum technology. Imagine what we could accomplish together instead of fighting each other." Marcus stood up and walked to his window, looking out at Earth. The planet looked peaceful from here, but he knew better now. This wasn't just a world of clever humans who had developed some advanced technology. This was a civilization that understood things his people had missed in their rush to expand their empire. "If I don't order an attack," Marcus said slowly, "I'll be the first high commander in Dominion history to fail at adding a new world to our empire." "Or," Cooper replied, "you'll be the first to realize that some worlds are worth more as allies than as conquered territories." Marcus turned back to the screen. "What makes you so sure the Dominion Council will listen?" Cooper smiled. "Because you'll show them the same thing we showed you, that the old ways of thinking don't always work. The universe is bigger and more complex than any empire can handle alone." The truth of those words hit Marcus hard. The Dominion had grown so focused on expanding that they had forgotten to look for better ways of doing things. Earth, isolated but innovative, had found those better ways. "I could order an attack," Marcus said, thinking out loud. "We have enough ships to cause serious damage, even with your quantum technology." "You could," Cooper agreed calmly. "But you won't. Because you understand now what we've been trying to tell you. The future belongs to those who adapt, not those who just keep doing things the old way." Marcus looked at his report again. The protocol said to attack. History said to conquer. Logic said to wait. But wisdom said something else entirely. "I'm going to need your help," Marcus finally said. "The Council won't accept this easily. They'll need proof that working with Earth is better than trying to rule it." "We thought you might say that," Cooper replied. "We have prepared something that might help convince them. Would you like to see it?" Marcus nodded, knowing that whatever came next would change not just Earth's future, but the entire Dominion's as well. Sometimes, he realized, the bravest choice a commander could make was to admit that the old ways needed to change. The Great Hall of the Dominion Council fell silent as High Commander Marcus finished his presentation. The holographic displays showing Earth's capabilities faded away, leaving the 100 council members sitting in stunned silence. For the first time in Dominion history, a high commander had recommended making the world an equal partner rather than a subject. "This is unprecedented," the head counselor said, his voice echoing in the quiet chamber. "In 10,000 years, we have never offered equal partnership to any civilization." "And in 10,000 years," Marcus replied, standing tall, "we have never met a civilization like Earth." Admiral Cooper stood beside him, calm and composed even under the stares of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The human's presence in the council chamber was itself unprecedented. No representative of an unintegrated world had ever been allowed here before. "Members of the council," Cooper addressed them directly, "we understand this is a difficult decision. Change always is, But consider this, your empire has conquered thousands of worlds, yet Earth has discovered things in 50 years that you haven't found in 10,000. He gestured to a new hologram that appeared between them. It showed the quantum communication network Earth had built, but now it displayed something new, a way to extend it across the entire Dominion. This is our proposal, Cooper continued. Not surrender, not submission, but true partnership. We can help you build this network across your empire. Instant communication, without delay, across thousands of light years. And this is just the beginning. The council members whispered among themselves. The potential was clear. Such a network would solve many of the problems they faced in managing their vast empire. And what do you want in return? The head counselor asked. Recognition of Earth's independence, Cooper replied, and a change in how the Dominion operates. No more conquests, no more forced integrations. Instead, we propose a new approach, offering worlds the choice to join as partners, each bringing their own strengths to make the whole stronger. Marcus stepped forward. Council members, I have seen Earth's capabilities firsthand. They could have used their technology against us. Instead, they showed us a better way. Their warning about empires wasn't a threat. It was an offer to help us avoid the fate of every empire that came before. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some members argued for tradition, others for progress. The debate lasted hours, with Cooper and Marcus answering countless questions about Earth's technology, its culture, and its intentions. Finally, the head counselor raised his hand for silence. We have ruled through power for 10,000 years, he said slowly. Perhaps it is time to try ruling through wisdom instead. The vote that followed was close, but in the end, history changed its course. The Dominion Council approved Earth's proposal, making it the first world to join the Empire as an equal partner rather than a subject. As Cooper and Marcus left the chamber together, the human admiral smiled. You know this is just the beginning, right? Other worlds will want the same treatment now. Marcus nodded. Good. Maybe that's exactly what the Dominion needs. We've spent too long thinking that bigger meant better. You showed us that better simply means better. Just remember our warning, Cooper said, his voice serious despite his smile. No empire lasts forever, but partnerships between equals can endure. I'll remember, Marcus replied. And I'll make sure others remember too. Back on Earth, the news of the Council's decision was met with celebration. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge, not with weapons or warfare, but with wisdom and understanding. They had changed an empire not through force, but through knowledge. And in the years that followed, as the Dominion transformed from an empire of conquest to a partnership of worlds, many would look back at Earth's warning as the moment everything changed. Sometimes, the most powerful weapon isn't a weapon at all. It's an idea, backed by the wisdom to use it well.